All
All
right,
right,
that's
since
fine.
no one, we're not going to go over the all the slide. Well, do you want to take a crack at going over the slide like you were? You want to try it, Jith? You want to lead that part
Uh,
or not really?
what, uh,
Like the treasury tracker thing.
oh yes, I did update the treasury tracker. Um,
Do you want to put that picture in the chat? That screenshot? Should be able to, right? Or no? Without
yes,
doxing yourself or anything.
it was the active thing on my clipboard, so that was easy.
Perfect.
So basically, I made sure that everything was more or less up to date. I wasn't as critical of the price, the USDC price of Atlas and having that reflect the actual price that I listed because of volatility. I was intending to try to get into that and change it closer to the time that the meeting actually happened. I just didn't have a chance to. I can do that later or next week.
Okay.
I mean, then again, with current volatility, I'm not really going to worry about those exact numbers right now.
Okay. Hi, Brujo. We got a light crew tonight. Okay. So if you want to look at it, Brujo, the treasury trackers there. We're not going to go over it in depth, but we did have a payment go out. We transferred, I think it was 11 million Atlas to the Arena multi-sig. So that was a big move.
And the treasury tracker reflects that change.
Perfect. I'm sure we missed something, but I really don't think anything else has changed besides volatility.
No, the 11 million and volatility, and that's again.
Cool. Easy enough. I put the list of accomplishments on slide 4 in our thing. Let me screenshot that. Sorry. Save accomplishments. And then you guys can let me know if I missed anything. Add, upload file. Okay, so here's the ones I have. So this week we did quite a bit. We set up the threads for the DAO casters candidates. Thank you to Jindo for doing that. There's a little bit to it. Jith, you got the DAO casters markdown done, which we will go over later in the meeting. We did a bunch more multi-sig stuff. We got the payment threads for the arena setup. I don't think we sent that payment. I think they finally PIP disbursements arena. So everyone is in the channel. Now we just need to get their wallets and we can get that first one paid out. So we did set that up. And then, oh man. Then we did we funded the arena wallet, which we went over a little bit ago. And then we set up, this was kind of cool. Jendo helped us out with this, the non-English DAO announcement channels. Did you guys, Marengo, did you happen to see if that worked? Are you in any of the other non-English or JIF? I don't know. Are you in any of those other communities where to see if he got that bot up and running?
Yeah, I see it, the channels in.
We have access.
Yeah, we have access to that. So I see
Yeah.
all those channels.
Did the bot repost Winston's announcement from an hour ago?
Not in Spanish one.
Okay. So Jindo's setting up a bot to translate to automatically take any DAO announcement and put it in all the other channels under the governance DAO announcement. So I think that's really cool. I think Winston would be super excited about that.
Yeah,
So,
And
the
it's
bot
actually really helpful. Yeah. Sorry, Jeff.
so, yeah, the bot doesn't seem to be working yet, but everything's just been set up. So
sweet. Yeah, he'll get on that as soon as he can, I'm assuming. So, can you guys think of anything else we got done this week? That's a lot, but I couldn't think of anything else. Marengo, did you do any posts or anything on X besides some of the announcements?
No, I was waiting for having the meeting and then I will do a post.
Sweet. Welcome everybody. Hi Bohemian. We're a little light
Hello.
today. We have a family stuff with two of the other people, so it's kind of more not free flow, but less slideshow oriented. But cool. I think that's the accomplishments. I have 3 things that we need to talk about at least. No, 4 things. Let me writing. Okay. First one is just kind of a to let people know that Mr. Secor, I don't know how to say that, he did withdraw from the Dowcasters. He's the gentleman that was doing that had the idea to do the card idea. So he withdrew from Dowcasters. There you go. Thank you.
You're welcome.
So that's just kind of an announcement. And then we need to go over the markdown live. I'm hoping you can take point on that when we do that, because I think we're close and we're ready to ship it out the door. I was hoping to have all 5 sets of eyes on it, but we need to go over that. The relay program draft from Funcracker. I don't know if we actually have to go over it this meeting. Both you guys, if you wouldn't mind going to his draft, and from what I read, he had some more feedback, specifically from Bohemian, that he was going to adjust some of the wording. So I don't think it's ready for review, but you guys can tell me if you think it is or isn't. And then we'll go over the newt, the big news for the week. I think that one is ready for us to at least run over, at least with us, and then we can give our feedback. So, did you guys have anything else for the agenda? Okay.
No, not me.
Okay. Okay, Jith, I don't think, would you mind going over the markdown? Winston created some, he took AI and kind of summarized all the candidates. Would you mind, Jith, putting, hi Jendo, putting one of them up here so we can read it and see kind of what it looks like, and see, maybe go over a few of them just to see if you can, Jith. Agenda, we're a little light today. We got some family stuff came up with the other 2 guys. So.
Yeah, that's the way it goes.
Mm-hmm.
okay, so this would be VB's, the summary that we have for VB.
Mm-hmm.
Basically copy pasted directly out of the markdown document. As the markdown document from the display side, not the formatting side.
Yep.
So this is basically what the AI that Winston ran it through had everything look like.
Okay. It's not too long.
Yeah. I mean, some of them are a little longer than others because Some had a little bit more information than others. Some had more links than others. But I don't think it's too long.
No.
So the real thing that we do need to discuss is Lancer cleaned up the more specifically the top portion, the summary, creating the nominee lists. So that's in short form right at the top. You don't have to actually go through all the details, have to know who's voting for. Other than that, I think we do want to we do need to make sure that we discuss exactly what we want to have trigger the start of the term. Lancer had it putting it at the 1st of next month, which may be a little early if there's an onboarding process. Not sure about how much of an onboarding process there's going to need to be, or how much of that is necessary for them to start doing the work.
Right.
I don't think we need. I don't think we need any of them to actually do KYC.
Right.
So it
Yeah, and that's
should be simple.
something. Yeah. So historically, if it's like $750, maybe up to 1,000, they're not required to do the KYC. So that will save a ton. Because they all should be under that. I guess if we start getting down the road and somebody's getting more, we'll just have to cross that bridge when we get there.
I think it's all they're all fixed amounts, I think.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you're right, I think.
I mean, rough calculation is like 600, 700 total between payment and funds to be dispersed. Well, and funds to be distributed to community or caster.
Okay. Cool. So yeah, the first so the implementation details, so election process, it's held once for a 3-month term. They self-nominate. Elections will be single transferable vote. Top 5 vote recipients will be appointed as DAO casters, and there will be a runoff if there's a tie. So they get compensated monthly in Atlas, 360,000 per. I don't need to go over too much of it. So weeks 1 to 2 post approval, finalize onboarding materials, announce the initiative, and prepare election infrastructure. That's where we're at now. Open nominations. And then week 5 is voting concludes. Top 5 candidates are selected and onboarded. Then month 2, the DAO casters release their first content, set the brew calendar, and launch initial engagement efforts. So yeah, I'm not sure what the brew calendar is going to look like now. I don't think
It's
there's
the
been.
same.
It is? Okay, thanks, Jindo. I was going to ask. Okay, so that shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah, we don't have any plans to change the brew specifically right now, and no matter what happens with Zesk, whether or not he gets the PIP approved, he said he's going to carry on with the brews for now.
Okay, sweet. Thank you. So yeah, I'm not 100% sure what onboarded means. As far as I'm concerned, once they win, then we, let them know that, they need to go over some of the requirements. We'll just refresh them on the requirements, on what they have to post, and they'll post, and then we'll probably. Yeah, we set up the payment threads for DAO casters. Thank you, Jindo. So that's probably where the communication will be. So they'll have to report some of their accomplishments and whatever in those threads. You think that's a good spot, Marengo and Jith?
Yeah, I mean, all we need to do is decide on an exact date that we want this to start, and that's the end of it. And we can basically, we should be able to just push that out directly to the kitchen, I think. I mean,
So
Glenn's already approved the entire program.
Right. So the second, so each Dowcaster will, the second bullet point in the PIP is produce at least one piece of original content per week. And I'm assuming we're just going to have them put the link to that in their payment thread. And then at the end of the month, if they did that, you know, so they'll be required to put it in there. So they're going to have to self-report. Marengo, you might have to be the what did you call it in Spanish? Where you go make sure you get your money from them? What was that
What?
phrase? Like you're the bad guy that has to hunt them down. Say, hey, where's
Oh, yeah. Plata o plomo. Yeah.
Plato Plomo? So
Plata o plomo. I will
Plato
be the
Plomo
one to push.
to hunt them down. So
Yeah.
cool. I like it. So shout out to Jendo again for setting all that up. So I think it's ready. We will allow Plata Plomo. See, Bohemian. She's gonna hunt them down. The softest enforcer ever known to the planet. That's hilarious. What was I saying? I can't read the chat. I shouldn't read the chat when I'm doing this. So yeah,
It's just Money just posted a GIF.
I know I can't do it. Okay, I'm coming back here. So I think it's ready to go. Oh, that's where I was going with that. I think we'll let, before we officially send it to the kitchen, Jith, let's verify with Lanzer. He might still end up showing up to the meeting if he can get the baby down.
Yeah.
But once we get his okay, and I think Winston was okay with it, but we'll verify with both of them after the meeting, hopefully today or tomorrow still, and then we'll get it into the kitchen. We were going to do profile pictures, but we're not going to do that anymore. I just made that executive decision.
Yeah, I mean, even have the profile pictures ready or not really?
No, it's there was a snafu with that, so plus it would just make the the voting that much longer. I'm assuming this markdown is pretty long, right, Jeff? Or is it? It's
I mean,
decent sized.
It's probably the only longer markdowns that would have been done would have been the initial council election.
Okay. So yeah, I think if we save some space and we don't have the pictures, so I think we'll go ahead and send it. So do you have anything else on that, Jeff or Marengo?
No,
Okay.
not me.
Okay. Cool. Well, that's good. Okay, so we're done with that one. Dowcasters. Did you guys have a chance, Marengo and Jeff, to look at Fun Crackers? I don't think it's ready to review. Plus, we're missing 2 people. Because yeah, last in his thread, he was going to, let me find it. He was going to, thanks for the feedback, Bohemian. I will clarify some of the points you raised later today. And so to me, that says it's not quite done because that was 2:30 a.m. my time.
I think we should probably save that for next week.
Okay, I would agree.
At this
You think so, Marengo?
Yeah, I agree. It's going to
Okay.
be better if we are is all the team together.
Okay, I agree too. So that brings us to Jose's PIP draft. It isn't quite formatted 100% properly, so we'll probably go through. We could probably start the markdown for this This one's a little different since it's not an ecosystem fund PIP, and so that means it falls into Swags's authority essentially. So I don't know if we need to go over it or not. We do need to reformat it, but
I would like a chance to read over it a little bit more carefully. And I do know that this would also have to be PDF'd and sent to Glenn first, even after Swags okays it.
yeah. And I know the formatting will need fixed. So I'm trying to decide if we want to go over it as is right now. I'm not sure we do, because it was just posted like a few hours ago.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Do you guys feel we need to wait for the other part of the team to go over this?
Could probably discuss a little bit of preliminary things such as what we want the quorum to look like. Because I do think that this should probably, in addition to everything else, also be subject to a little higher standard. If anything, just to basically make it very, very clear that this is the community backing this, not just Automata trying to push this through.
Right.
I mean, not that like we know that, but the regulatory agency looking at from the outside, that's a different story.
Right. I'm running through Drum's PipX, the high impact pips. It's in the ideas channel if people want to go look at it. And we do have a code today, by the way, for the audience. I'm going to try to find the highlights. So this is for high impact pips. So basically anything that falls out of the ecosystem fund. This hasn't been adopted. Nothing's official. We did meet for weeks and weeks about this, and I did run the idea. I asked Swags if he wanted to include any of this. So I'll go over some of the highlights. So so he defined a high impact PIP. Enhanced governance requirements. So Drum proposed prior to advancing any high impact PIP to the draft stage, we must obtain express written consent from the developing team and the DAO representatives. So we need to basically get the okay from Swags and Glenn, probably just Swags at this point. Drum had wanted an extended discussion period. I'm not sure where the team's going to land on that, but the elevated quorum, which is what Jith was talking about, we never did nail down the exact quorum. So we had proposed 30 to 50% of the total PvP must participate. And he has a formula for the calculation method and the verification. Supermajority voting threshold. Drum had proposed 67% of the participating PvP must vote in favor of it. And then Drum had proposed leaving it open for 21 days and then give a final notice 48 hours before it ends just to make sure everyone has a chance to chime in. And those are some of the additional requirements that we had proposed. So we do need to verify if Swags wants more of that stuff in there, and if he does, what all he wants. So that's kind of a, go ahead, Yip.
I was thinking more of a 20%, 60% 20% of the total PvP needs to participate. 60% should vote yes on this one. This also, the high impact PIP, a lot of that language was 10% or more of the existing ecosystem of the existing total funds. This falls within like 5%. So it's not, it shouldn't necessarily have to be as strict. And again, that PIP is at best guidance.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what we have to work through, some of those details. So it's definitely not something we're gonna pass today to the next stage. But it is worth going over right now. Don't worry, Bohemian, we're not passing it through. Yeah, he only posted it just 3 hours ago. So, was there anything, and we're pretty casual tonight, so if somebody does want to unmute, feel free to chime in and let us know some of your thoughts or concerns. Just be respectful if you do unmute. I know, Bohemian, you don't generally unmute at this time of the day, but feel free to give us some of your feedback for those that have been following it and paying attention. Since we're casual tonight, so I'm trying to find it again. Pip drafts, Jose. So basically, I'll go over kind of a high level. Maybe I'll read his summary. In an effort to boost our runway and ensure Star Atlas can fulfill the roadmap and deliver the releases planned for this year, Autonoma was forced to make painful cuts to its talents. Unfortunately, my position as lore writer, community team member was terminated as part of the process. Despite this, I remain confident in Star Atlas and in the incredible game modes that still have potential to turn the situation around, such as HoloSim, C4 Zinc, and Siege mode. This PIP exists because I want to continue fighting alongside the community and contributing to Star Atlas during this critical period. So what he's proposing is to temporarily fund his work with Autonoma. He'll continue to work with Autonoma, fully embedded in the existing team. The DAO would provide USDC, not Atlas, but USDC, so it would come out of the 100,000, I believe we have, of USDC. So 5,000 would go to Autonoma. Go ahead, Jip.
100,000 is the yearly budget for the foundation. We have a
Hello.
How much do we have? Do you have that slide handy?
I
I guess you don't need this.
four
Probably
times
fell out of your pocket.
4,000, 400,000,
Oh, you want it?
Hey, Lakota.
Okay, I don't think so.
Hey, Lakota, you got a hot mic.
Yeah, I'll toss it. How's it going?
Good.
Got it.
Okay, so the 5,000 a month to Autonoma, so it get paid to Autonoma directly to cover his reduced salary. It's fixed at 6 months. So he would still do HoloSim, the lore, legal, still do the community, and UE5 and Project Gallia. So he would continue doing all of those things. So Autonoma will establish the deliverables. Autonoma will track whether these deliverables are being fulfilled as expected, using the same internal accountability that applies to any contributor. If I fail to fulfill the functions, Autonoma will report this to the DAO, and then the DAO funding remains strictly time bound and tied to 6 months. Yeah, the new process and systems, I guess a simple accountability loop where Autonoma defines deliverables and reports that to the DAO if they're not being met, and no new tooling, hosting, or technical systems are required. So he's basically just going to keep doing what he was doing. Obviously, the stakeholder, he went over the impacts of the stakeholders. The negative impacts is to the treasury. Some community members may prefer direct contributor funding rather than funding routed through Autonoma. And another negative is the DAO may be concerned about the precedent is being proposed as a one-time exception due to unusual circumstances. So if the PIP is approved, Autonoma will re-engage him into the team. We will send $5,000 a month to Autonoma. He'll perform his work. Autonoma will monitor performance. If he fails to fulfill functions and deliverables, it will be reported to us, and the engagement ends at 6 months. Technical stuff is the main risk is whether the DAO funds are spent without receiving value. It's addressed by Autonoma defining deliverables, Autonoma reporting to the DAO, and it's only for 6 months. And he goes over the timeline, which we basically just went over. And the dependencies, Autonoma's ability to reintegrate me into the team and define deliverables tied to actual priorities, and the DAO's ability to execute the monthly payments as scheduled. So he goes over the costs again. It comes from the DAO treasury. Autonoma will manage execution. He obviously has a conflict of interest because he is a member of the Autonoma team. So I think he's got a lot covered. I do think, like you said, Jith, we need to see if we're going to require any of the quorum or minimum votes. So I think it's going to move pretty quick once we get those answers, and we may try to. I don't know if we need to set up a meeting with Swags. I would say we probably don't. We can just get some of the answers directly from him in our council chat to see what all he wants included in it. What do you guys think?
There's no need for calling him.
I don't think so.
I think it's gonna be hectic for him, so maybe we can, as you say, keep it in the chat with him.
I would
Yeah,
agree.
I think it's going to be fairly cooperative. He may even just be things like forum and stuff to us as long as we don't push it to anything excessive. But that's speculation.
Okay, I'm gonna give out the code now. I thought about changing it. I spelled it wrong. Full transparency. I got it from Darwin. It was supposed to be drafts ! But it is spelled wrong. It's drafts. I forgot the T. So there's the code in the chat for those of you that want it. Drafts. So, okay. I would agree that we'll just take care of it in the chat. That's all I had on the agenda. Do you guys want to talk about anything else? We can also open it up for just chat, or we can end it early. Anything you guys want to chat about?
Is this working?
It is working. Hello, Bohemian.
Yes.
You made me jump in. Okay.
Good deal.
Just
Welcome.
a couple minutes. Just a couple minutes. Yes. Jose's PIP has overwhelming support. I never seen any PIP with so many thumbs up. I mean, only it's been posted 3-4 days, and it's already on draft. And he's he's a writer, so he already has it prepared. So I assume he read the ideas, the comments on the ideas, and he included a lot of those comments. I don't know which ones he did, which ones did not. But I look at his idea initially when he posted it last Friday, right? Thursday. And I I looked at the memorandum of association for the Stat Atlas Foundation, the DAO, and there are certain things that the DAO cannot do unless it is framed as a service. So as long as this PIP is framed as a service, I think everything else can be fixed. Okay, it will be minor. Okay, because there's a clause in the memorandum of association in which it says that basically the DAO, the foundation, cannot give anything of value to Atma. And in his PIP, maybe he fixed it. I don't know. Haven't read the draft, but in his initial idea, he wanted to get paid in USDC, right? And that goes against PIP 23, right? Which he says we pay only Atlas. I mean, so in the main critical error here, I think, is the memorandum of association is that it does not let the DAO send money to Atma, okay? And it has to be framed for the DAO to pay Jose, has to be framed as a service. It needs to provide service to the DAO, just like all the other PIPs, right? Otherwise, we go into a lot of issues. Okay, I know that this PIP is going to pass. I'm doing everything I can to bring up all the possible issues, okay, that could stop it. Okay, and so that's why I
Okay.
was very, very strong with my comments. Yes, and direct. I'm not playing around. This is a very important PIP. So I'm going to give it a serious look at his draft. And if the DAO cannot do it, one thing I did not include in my notes, if the DAO cannot do it, the foundation, the director could pay Jose. That is a kind of another idea there that is I left hanging. But there's another way of doing this besides the PIP. If the DAO cannot do it, the foundation can do it. Okay, so there are two ways of doing this. So, but this PIP is going to pass because it has tremendous support. Okay, so do not take any of my comments as being negative. I'm totally with Jose. I want him to continue with Stat Atlas. Okay.
Yeah, no, and I appreciated your feedback, to be honest, Bohemian. I didn't dive into it as soon as you did, but the deliverables, the clause where that the DAO can't transfer funds to Autonoma was a good point and a good catch. And I'm no attorney, but Jose is, and it will have to go through the foundation. So I'm assuming they're going to take a pretty hard look at it. But he does mention defining deliverables in his draft. You'll see it when you read it. But yeah, not being an attorney, to me it looks like it passes the sniff test specifically because if he's not meeting some of those deliverables, the DAO will be Autonoma will report that to the DAO. So that makes me feel better. And then to your PIP 24 comment about I can't remember exactly what it was. That was specifically for the ecosystem fund. And I can't remember if Drum said that earlier in the week or not, but you are correct in what you said. That being said, this isn't an ecosystem fund, and it falls outside of PIP 24, in my opinion. So, but those were all good catches, and I appreciate your
Yeah.
feedback.
Yeah, if it is outside PIP 23 and it's outside of the ecosystem, then basically, what can the DAO do?
But we can't do anything. It's all up to well, and I'm paraphrasing and just speaking in generalities, but if it's not, the council for sure is only tasked with the ecosystem fund, and anything that falls outside of it is out of our purview. And if it's out of our purview, it falls back to the foundation, and the foundation typically defers to swag. So
Correct. So if it is outside of what, I mean, this PIP could be a informational PIP or just basically informing the community, right? Or asking for support, just the informational PIP, and the foundation and SWAG and Stat Atlas and Atma can basically handle it behind the scenes, just like we pay the salary of the director. It will be handled something similarly like that. Okay,
correct.
but under the director, yeah, because
Yep.
we already approved $100,000. He's not spending $100,000, so there's plenty of room there to pay, this for this PIP.
Yep,
for 6
I would
months.
agree. So awesome. Well, thank you for your feedback, Bohemian.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're welcome anytime. You know that.
Thank you for the tickets. That's why I jump in. You gave me
There you
tickets.
go.
I got you in 5 minutes. Yeah.
Love it. Thanks, man. Sweet. Saint Just, I see you're joining us. I'm not going to invite you up to speak unless you want to. Does anyone else want to chime in on anything from the audience or the council? I'm not hearing anybody. Okay, we might end this
No,
thing early
no
then.
one is. Yes. But I think next week is going to be full of news because it's going to be the complete council. So it's going to be bombastic, should I say? Can I say
Yes.
that?
Sure.
Bombastic. Okay.
Yeah, it's going to blow up because we're going to talk about everything.
Luckily, we went over some of it today, so hopefully it'll be a little quicker next week. Sometimes this stuff can drag on, but we'll get a lot of answers before the next meeting, so we won't have to speculate. Jith, anything else that you want to say or talk about?
Yeah, I think everything that I would have had to say has been mentioned already.
Okay. Awesome. Well, if nobody else has anything, we're gonna adjourn the meeting. Quick note. Okay. From Super Phoenix Sports, tourneys moved back a month to start in March to accommodate game updates and be able to present Star Atlas in the best way. Thank you for that update, Money. We always appreciate that. And since you're here, I think you guys are in the payment thread. We'll be touching base, but we're going to need to know the wallet where you guys want the money, not the money, the payment set. I don't know if that's you or Nord, but we'll respond in that payment thread, just so you know.
Thank you,
Cool.
Manny.
Yes, thank you. That would be great if you don't mind, Money. Cool. All right. Well, we are adjourned then. Thanks for coming, everybody. Enjoy your free tickets.
Yay.
Thank you,
Yay.
guys.
See ya.
Bye-bye.
Holocene
Those tickets
is
were not
coming.
free. I had to listen to you guys for an hour for those tickets.
Yeah, I don't see that, Jingo. Just tell me
I-
when is Holocene coming.